welcome to the wild, wild world of the American Dirt Track Racer, where mistakes can be devastating to man and machine. High-speed competition is incredibly intense. No participation trophies. Only the best teams are fast enough to qualify for the main event. But just one driver can win. No phony baloney Hollywood make-believe, only the real deal. All video captured dead center in America's heartland. Featuring stand-out, up-and-coming drivers totally dedicated to reach the top of their chosen career. Tyler Neal, 22 years old, from Paragon, Indiana, racing in the Indiana Pro Late Models. Carson Short, 22, from Marion, Illinois, competes in sprint cars. And Josh Harris, 37, from Owensboro, Kentucky, races an open-wheel modified. Also in this series, we visit people and businesses that make up the important American cottage industry we simply call racing.
camera, I'll offer turn this thing over.
How's the week been going, Carson?
It's been up and down.
I saw you got a 6th the other night.
Yeah, we were good at Plymouth. Got a top 10, got 6. Had a good run going at Lawrenceburg and ended up spinning out, running 4th from 13th and popping a tire. And then last night just was not good at all from the beginning. So the motor wouldn't run all night, and we made it through, won the heat, but still wouldn't run the feature, and we never ended up. We didn't get. I think we finished, but it was in the back. So changed rear end today.
New motor, new rear end.
Yeah, just changed a lot of stuff today. Hopefully for Terre Haute, it's better.
These are the big dogs of unwinged sprint cars.
Oh yeah, this is the best of the best. This is the best week. Everybody comes. I mean, there's people from all over to come here.
The Indiana Sprint Week.
Yep. It's supposed to be fun.
How many races this week?
What do we got?
Can't remember.
7. And it's been crazy.
Yeah.
We've had rain. We had to make up one yesterday in Kokomo because of the rain.
Oh, you went back there?
Yeah. And then the rain the first of the week was crazy. Everybody's surprised how we got them in, but we got them in.
Do you guys go home or do you stay in the...
No, we've been staying in the Indianapolis area. And then, because it's too far to go home and come back.
Yeah. Well, Terre Haute, I'm excited about it.
This is a fast track. They call this one the action track. It's fast.
It's good. No, you're right there. Here, let me get it. You the goddamn hard head, and I'm not. That 511 goes in there.
Cheeseburger.
Now the work stops. What is that?
It's Richard's fries. They're not specials.
Yeah, that's a 511 too. Ooh, what the hell?
You want that? It's
Ooh,
Matt's.
Now we take a break.
we're gonna take a break.
Yeah, time to eat.
Where's my Z-bird? You wanna yell at him? Oh, man.
Break time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's all yours.
Hey, sweetie.
we were flat fucking flying. We were retarded beating Lawrenceburg until that bleeder shot out on us. I mean, it just,
I think I just missed it.
The night bleeders out.
I don't even think
Yeah.
no cause. If there's 5 of them, it wouldn't
so
help.
walk down tonight.
I just feel like
there's a
track
Carson blue would
condition.
have got him.
No.
Where's your boys at? Where's the crew at?
You're looking at it.
Yeah, you don't need.
Everybody's working. Dad, he took work off.
Yeah.
Grandpa, he's retired. He's over there.
Grandpa's here?
Yeah. And these are stragglers.
He just kind of gets in the way and bitches.
Like left front fell off.
Yeah.
That was the right.
Wait. And then the wing fell off.
The wing
Yeah.
fell off.
Same amount.
Oh, you don't want me up in there.
10 through 20.
Ooh, get out of here. Don't bear on these guys.
Tell me something.
I don't have any more.
We had a good day today.
A.B. Will Height, live in Russellville, Kentucky, about 20 miles from this racetrack. We go to Florida every year for the stay of the month of February, and wind up at least once a year in Cedar Lake, Wisconsin, and go to Hopstad, Indiana pretty often, and Brownstown, and Paducah when it was running. So I've followed races for more than 70 years. I said from the days whenever that we hold an old sprint car all over the country behind the 39 LaSalle and they eat bologna and crackers, and sometime whenever you done pretty good and got a little extra money, you can buy an RC to wash it down with. So you see some of these car haulers down here now nicer than the home that most people live in.
It's true.
So it's changed since I started going, but it never did have the racing surface to run on it has now. They've put new clay on it. It done work it better. Of course, it got a little dusty last night because the wind's blowing like this wind is right now. A lot of people think sun's what drives the track out. This wind will drive the track out. It's hard to keep a track. Very unusual to see as much dust as we've seen here last night. And as time went on, it just kept taking down bleachers and making more room for lawn chairs. So that's what the fans wanted. And if you're here later tonight, you're going to see more people. In fact, those bleachers down there won't be full, and the area for lawn chairs will be full. This is kind of like a family get-together. You'll see people sitting around talking about the family and different things. And then the same groups get together every week here. So this is more or less like a family get-together, and the bonus is you get to see a car race. And most of the time a good one. Actually, this is one of the best racing surfaces. I mean, not the best, but one of the best that you'll go to anywhere. You can see a good show here, and reasonable to get in and get treated nice. And
Who's going to win?
Well, that's hard to say. You got about 4 or 5 cars here that either one of them could win. You got Josh could win, Trent Young could win, Scott James was for many years was a late model driver here. Seen him win a few races, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see him come up there. There was Kenny, he going to be a front runner. It'd be a good race.
This track drives so quick in qualifying. You need to qualify about perfect draw number somewhere between about 30 and 40.
Yeah. You don't want to be too early.
You say changing a carburetor can change the power curve of the motor?
Yes. That's top secret stuff.
report. Guys, don't drive through nobody to pass them. You're all much better than that. You're professionals. If you can't pass somebody, just take your shit home and make it better for next week. Pass him right. I mean, you guys got a lot of money and time in these cars, so please, please be respectful and drive each other like you want to be driven.
Like trying to give our racers a decent racing service here at Cedar Ridge Speedway. I've been doing this for about 30 years now. I broke my back in a street accident, so I can no longer race or drive in demolition derbies. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a rain delay. This is what we call rolling the track in. 3/8 mile high bank and brand new clay put on it last year. Now I'm a former race driver, former demolition derby driver. Name's Bob White. I live in Bunkerville, Kentucky, about 70 miles north from here. So I got on here working with Mr. Richard Ashby. He remembers me working from all these other places. I've worked everything as announcer, water truck driver, rock picker. I do it because I love it. Now, different people prefer different lines for racing a high bank track, especially dirt. Usually the quicker way when racing is up near the top, near the rough stuff that they call the cushion. That's usually the crumbs of dirt that gets thrown off of the track by the car's tires. That's where most of the moisture is, and you can get better grip that way. Now the idea of rolling the track in helps smooth it out. Usually done after water. You put 2 tires in the rough and work your way down gradually. Part of it about Kentucky. Everybody thinks that everybody in Kentucky's a ball fan. Personally, if I went to a ball game, I'd probably fall asleep in the stands. Well, Dad took me to a ball game when I was a kid. I was about 5 years old, and I fell asleep in the bleachers. But it is awful tough to get me away from a racetrack. The vehicle we're riding in is called the Gold Brick. The Gold Brick. It's a gold 1993 Ford L-Star van. Belonged to a late friend of mine that died of cancer here about 3 years ago. His name was Ed Self. He was a former race driver. So it was kind of fitting when he died, his sons donated this van to the racetrack. Oh yeah, it's looking real good now.
Father, tonight we do thank you for Cedar Ridge Speedway and AMS for allowing you in here tonight. Father, it's comforting to know that you're here with us, watching over us. Father, we do come lifting up our drivers, crew members, safety workers, and fans. Father, we want everyone to have a safe, enjoyable evening and get home to their families. And Father, as always, we do lift up our military men and women who are out fighting for our freedom all around the world. We ask for your hedge of protection around them. And Father, tonight our victory is in Jesus Christ, and it's in His name we pray. Amen. Please remain standing.
Won't see anybody kneel here.
Here we are on a Saturday night, you know, almost in the backwoods, Morgantown, Kentucky, Cedar Ridge Raceway. And what's crazy is there must be 5,000 people here. Up and down the roads, you can't even find any parking. People are parking their cars on the side of the roads. And it's 11:30 at night. There's 158 race cars in the pit area. And in my class, there's 40 cars here. And I race the same class as Josh Harris does. And Josh has been on a hot streak lately the last 3 weeks. He's become one of the fastest race cars in the modified division in the United States. He's been winning everywhere. So it's really amazing to see 158 race cars in Middle America on a Saturday night in the middle of Kentucky. But you know what? It's like anything in life, where you find something you love. You know, some people like to get a boat and go on a lake. Some people like to go deer hunting. Some people like to play bridge and cards. And they like, you know, to do things that they do. And so this auto racing, this dirt track racing is grassroots. There's a dirt track in every little town in the United States, and sometimes you'll drive right by it and not even know it's there. It's pretty wild, and it's in our blood. We just love it.
Racing Inside Out, where we meet people and businesses that make up the important American cottage industry we simply call racing.
have here is a short block that's been assembled. Scott has put this short block together. This is a 410 cubic inch World of Outlaw USAC non-wing sprint car short block. We call standard issue high-end 410 inch aluminum, all aluminum small block for sprint car racing. It's a 21-degree cylinder head that we manufacture for various associations. We do it for dirt late models. We do it for drag racing. There are some open sprint car 360 cubic inch classes that we use this head in, but you can see what the casting looks like from Brodex. This is a 21-degree head that they make for us. That is a before, and then the CNC finished part as you see it there. But this is a 10-degree valve angle head that actually will go on that short block that you just took a video of. This is a 10-degree valve angle, fully lightened casting that we produce for World Outlaw non-wing stuff. It's a extremely raised intake port. From the deck to port floor is about 2.975 inches, so it's really raised up off the deck to give a real good line of sight to the valve. Moves a lot of air, drives real well on the racetracks, real good drivability, and makes a lot of power. Actually, this pair of heads here is going to, they're going to Australia. That are going to be on a nostalgia road race, Can-Am road race type car is what those are designated to go overseas. These are just a small portion of all the types of cylinder heads that we machine. We have hundreds of programs for numerous types of manufacturer cylinder heads, Chevy, Ford, Dodge. We do a lot of different, styles of heads that we CNC port. So this is just a small, very small portion of what we have available. And when we're designing, developing port shapes, if you want to swing around, these are our flow benches that we use to develop and design our port shapes on. This is actually a template head that we're working on here, developing some new port shapes, and so this particular flow bench will measure cubic feet of air a minute, or CFM, and it also, we can measure swirl to look and see how stuff's swirling in the cylinder as it enters the combustion space. And but that's what these machines are. We use that to do development work whenever we're developing product. It will measure flow at 28 inches of water depression. Is kind of the standard of the industry, so that's what we measure at. Then we record those flow measurements at certain valve lifts and record that so that we know where we're at as we're doing development work. Great. After it's been CNC'd, and comes in here for Daniel and I to do all of the finish work, ready to go out to final milling and assembly. If someone wants us to completely assemble the heads, we do that here, or we'll send them out in an unfinished form as far as not completed. Draft benches, so when we're developing, we have blowers and filters in there that circulate air past this so that we filter the air, any grinding dust, anything that comes off of the part when we're working on it. We capture all that and filter that so we got fresh air coming back into the room. Pressure testing heads to make sure that we don't have any leaks.
Well, this is our CNC machines. This is a 3-axis machine. We have 4 5-axis machines that when Kenny Weld had invented CNC porting on cylinder heads, he was the first to overcome all of the obstacles to CNC completely a cylinder head. And when I purchased WeldTech, I purchased the way to do it, but it's all his technology, and we've just kept the plane flying per se. Is our Rottler block machine, and we'll put a cylinder block on there, and we will cut 4 new sleeves. We can bore the sleeve after it's installed. We can deck on this machine. We can cut lifter bores, line bore the main caps. It's really a nice piece to be able to accurately true up a block to make sure that bank to bank that the deck heights are equal, that the line bore is good on the mains, and lifter bores, we can put them wherever we need them just by writing a program for them.
Once everything gets assembled, we bring engines in here where we can dyno them, evaluate, run them, make sure everything's up to par where we want it to be to perform, and then it leaves here and goes to the customer. That's a 360 ASCS type of engine. That's a 410, actually a USAC non-wing car, another 360. That's in the stout, actually a Restore. That's an old Oldsmobile motor over there that Scott's done for a restoration project, guy restoring a vehicle. But these engines have all come in for rebuilds, just for freshen ups. That's done, then dynoed, ready to go back to the customer.
What kind of horsepower does a 410 USAC sprint car? 410
USAC sprint cars right now, 900 horsepower is kind of the norm of the day. Our World of Outlaw type engines will make 950, 740 foot-pounds of torque.
It's
So this is the car that kind of started the whole Jones Engineering side of the race engines, the cylinder head development way back in the early 60s. My dad, Sam Jones, raced this car, and him and his partner, Dale Moody, they built this car and raced the car in the early 60s. And
so where's the driver?
Where's the driver?
Yeah.
He's standing right here.
Oh.
You're on film.
It won't be any good, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it will too.
Here's the other part of it. The Moody part?
Yeah. This is Dale. So these two are who built this along with Dad's brother Mac in the early 60s, and they raced this thing in double C gas supercharged car. Won U.S. Nationals in what, 62?
2, 3, and 4.
And this is really where a lot of stuff started, back in the 50s and 60s of things that evolved into where we're at today. So One Way Technologies came to pass. We actually started that company beginning in January 1 of 2016. Chris Grace had bought the WeldTech CNC porting company You'd have to ask him that question. I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. And from the Weld family, and Kenny Weld was the originator of being able to mass produce to the general public CNC ported cylinder heads. He was the one that I would consider the first guy. There were guys that were doing CNC porting, but not to the extent that he did to make heads commercially available for engine builders and racers to buy. And he really moved the game forward in mass-produced horsepower. And we were on the development side and using WeldTech to CNC port stuff that we developed. And so when Chris bought the company, we got to talking about what would happen if we put all of this under one roof, be able to develop, manufacture, build an engine to test our product on, which is where Scott Gherkin, who was Steve Kinser's crew chief for 25 years. When Steve retired, we brought Scott on board as a R&D engine builder. So to be able to do all of that under one roof is really unique and has helped us move the ball down the court in producing better product. Some of the stuff that trophies and things that Dad and Dale, what they acquired in the 60s, and just a few of them. Gary, it always amazed me how these guys how they would take these cars back in the day and, run 130 mile an hour or more with these old straight axle coupes and cars back in the day, and always pretty amazing. I give you a shot of the engine if running these supercharged engines, in these old cars. And this particular class that this car was in was a very heavy car. This car weighed 4,200 pounds. And I don't know how many national records they set. They might be able to tell you, but a number of records large number that they set through the years that they raced this car. The car got away from them. They had sold the car, and it came back. They got it back in 2005. And they were invited to the U.S. Nationals as they brought 50 gassers in from back in the 60s, and so this was one of the 50 cars that they asked to come back. So they totally restored this car in about 5 months and put it back just like it was whenever they were racing the car back in the 60s. So it is a complete restore of what they run.
Uh-huh.